The Red Sox and Indians wrapping up this 2-game series here tonight. And the first pitch in there for strike one over the inside corner. And Tim Wakefield on the mound for the Red Sox. His 6th start of the year, coming in at 3-1. On the ground to third base, Mike Lowell. And there's one away. Tim Wakefield with 181 career victories, 6th among active pitchers. 167 of those wins coming in a Red Sox uniform, 3rd in club history behind Roger Clemens and Cy Young. Look at the numbers from the last start. He was able to come away with a win, even though in 5 innings he gave up 5 earned runs. Ben Francisco is retired. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera. Normally at second base tonight, getting the start at shortstop for Eric Wedge. Cabrera at .333 with a home run, 14 runs batted in.
Well, I'm excited to do a Wake game. I mean, last time I did a game about 5 years ago with you, It was Wake.
That's right.
And it was a National League game, and he got hit in the foot. His first at bat. You remember that?
I do. We were in Milwaukee.
And it took forever. It took another half an hour for him to get out of there.
Yeah.
And you don't forget something like that. But, every time I've been doing this for many years now over on the other side, back at the studio, and the wins are totally going up and up and up for him, catching up with Clemens and Cy Young. You think about it, and what's he at for Red Sox? 167. He needs 192. Which is 25 wins. And you start to say, how long does he have to play to get that? I'm thinking a couple more years. This guy could pitch forever.
Let's take a look at the defense tonight for the Red Sox. Left to right across the outfield, Jason Bay, Rocco Baldelli, J.D. Drew, Lowell Green, Pedroia, and Bailey in the infield as Guitarist catches Tim Wakefield, who's ready with a 1-2 line and caught at first base. Jeff Bailey going up to get it. I didn't think he had enough ups to get up there, but he does, and takes away this base hit for Cabrera.
This looks like a line drive base hit to right field. Good timing right here. That's what it's all about. Don't make your leap too early.
Well, Jeff Bailey getting another start at first base in the absence of Kevin Youkilis. He was stiff again today, and Barry Francona said that will not likely use him in the game tonight. Jacoby Ellsbury is available as the night goes on. There's 2 outs. How hot has this guy been? Victor Martinez.
398. He was danger last night. He was the man. I mean, the big hit of the game was that double to center field that Van Avery almost killed himself smashing into the center field fence. But that was the key blow last night. A 2-run double made the score from 2-1 to 3-2.
Key matchup brought to you by Honda. And as he starts today at 398, he is second only behind Miguel Cabrera of the Tigers in the American League in batting average. Kevin Youkilis has been idle the last couple of days. He hits at 393, and he is 3rd in batting average at the moment.
They missed this guy last year. He only got about not even 300 at bats last year.
In the dirt, ball 4. Wakefield walks Victor Martinez with 2 outs here in the first inning. Well, it is mass mentoring night here at Fenway Park, and they'll handle the starting lineups.
Hi, my name is Tanushka. Here's the starting lineup for the Cleveland Indians. In the center field, Mr. Ben Francisco. At shortstop, Mr. Asdrubal Cabrera. Catching, Mr. Victor Martinez. At third base, Mr. Mark DeRosa. In left field, Mr. David DeLucci. At first base, Mr. Ryan Garco. The DH is Mr. Johnny Peralta. In the right field, Mr. Matt Laporta. And at second base, Mr. Luis Balbuena.
Nice job, Tanushka, as the Red Sox and Indians with 2 outs here have Victor Martinez at first base. Mark DeRosa, the batter, batting out of the cleanup spot. Ball 2, and it's 2-1.
I don't know if this is a strange lineup or what for Cleveland, if you think about it. I mean, I think that you see that Sizemore's not in here batting leadoff. Says something. I guess if you're going to take a day off, it's a good time to take a day off, because this guy out here can mess you up for a week.
And they're at the end of a long road trip, going to Detroit and Toronto before coming here to Boston. And their lineup really has kind of been all over the place this season. Every day it's pretty much different.
This looks like a curveball. It is a curveball. I was going to say, whatever knuckleball that is, it can't be a knuckleball. Wake gets some punch outs with that curveball.
This one fouled off to the right, back and out of play. Mark DeRosa has been trouble against the Red Sox this season. He's got 6 home runs, and 3 of them have come against the Red Sox. 2 in that first series in Cleveland. And added to it here last night. Swing and a miss. Wakefield picks up his first strikeout. Indians don't score in the first. Red Sox coming up. Bottom of the first inning back at Fenway Park as cloud covered Fenway to begin the night, but so far precipitation free. As Julio Lugo leads it off for the Red Sox here in the bottom of the first inning. Back in the lineup and leading off with Jacoby Ellsbury on the bench to begin the night. In the original starting lineup, Lugo was to play short. He's the DH tonight and will face Jeremy Sowers. 22 starts last year, 4-9. Have been at AAA so far all of this year. And called up yesterday as Aaron Laffey ended up in the game. These are the numbers at AAA with Columbus so far this season.
This kid's got to paint. That's what he's got to do. He's got mediocre stuff. You better get the ball in when he throws it inside or he's going to get hurt.
A lot of the plate. Francisco's back. It's off the bottom of the wall. Nasty ricochet. Kicks to the right fielder, Laporta. Lugo thinking 3. The throw is going to be not in time. Julio Lugo's got a triple to start the bottom of the first inning. How about that ricochet in left center field?
That's good for Lugo right there for him to get. He had a pinch hit single last night. That'll help his confidence. He gets a fastball first time up and he knows what to do with it. This ball, he could not get this ball in, and he shoots this ball over Francisco's head. It kind of hits the bottom of the wall and kicks out. As soon as it kicks like that, you know you can go to 3 on that, especially with Lugo's speed.
So 90 feet away, first triple since 07. And here's Dustin Pedroia.
Sowers has to be just fine is what he's got to be. He doesn't throw real hard. Little changeup. You saw the curveball right there. He tries to get his fastball. He sneak it inside, but he didn't do that to Lugo, but he'll just show you inside. He doesn't want to do what he did to Lugo.
Sauer's 25 years of age. He'll turn 26 next week. A first-round pick by the Cleveland Indians, 6th overall in 04. On the corner to Pedroia, and it's 2-1.
Very surprising when he throws a fastball inside. You're not looking for it. You're looking for something out over the plate, soft, really, because he hasn't got enough hump to get by you.
Pedroia lines off the glove at short of Cabrera's in the left. From third comes Lugo. Red Sox lead it 1-0. Well, it was rising. Cabrera trying to time that leap at shortstop. Pedroia picks up his 9th RBI.
Nice piece of hitting right here. A little changeup. Ball would have hit the ground. That's how low it was. Not a bad pitch, but Pedroia can make a bad pitch, turn a bad pitch into a base hit in a heartbeat.
So Red Sox very quickly on top 1-0. Pedroia at first base. And here is Jason Bay. Red Sox reshuffling their lineup just before game time as David Ortiz with a stiff neck listed as day-to-day and pulled out of the lineup. So Jason Bay moves up from the cleanup spot into the 3 spot and really reshuffled the entire lineup for Terry Francona.
This kid made a big splash, I think, 3 years ago. Pitched pretty good for Cleveland, and since that time, the last couple of years, he's gotten his lunch. If you look at his numbers, probably why he didn't make the club this year after the year he had last year.
In there for strike 2, and it's 1-2. Yeah, when he broke onto the scene in 06, he was 7-4 in 14 starts, 3.57 earned run average. And then since then, it's not been so good. In 07, he was 1-6. Last year, 4-9 with an ERA in the mid-5s.
Not good.
He's a guy who was picked in the first round by the Cincinnati Reds, 20th overall in 2001, but elected not to sign. They couldn't get it worked out. And then 3 years later, in 04, was a first-round draft choice by the Indians, and Indians did get him signed.
And once again, he made a big splash. They thought he was going to be a star. I don't know about a star, but win a few games right away, you get carried away with the guy. But you think about it, a left-hander like this in Fenway Park, years ago it'd be like, uh-oh, nobody could, nobody used to be able to win left-handers here. You wouldn't even want to start a left-hander if you were an opposing team, ever.
Those numbers have not been good here at Fenway Park. 1-2 misses, and it's 2-2 to Jason Bay. Takes it off foul, 2-2. Let's look at the Indians defense tonight. David DeLucci in left field, Ben Francisco in center, Matt Laporte in right. Mark DeRosa at third base as Drupal Cabrera at shortstop, Luis Valbuena at second base, Ryan Garco at first as Victor Martinez catches Jeremy Sowers. Indians defense has been pretty good this year. They're 4th in the American League.
Yeah, defense is a little deceiving, I think. Just because you don't make errors doesn't mean you have a great defense. Because when I look at that defense out there, I mean, DeRosa's very average at third. They always are shifting somebody at first. And don't tell me Garco is a Golden Glover. That's a little harsh. But
Ryan, that's Dennis Eckersley speaking.
But you know what I'm saying. It's not like an all-star defensive team.
Left side, softly hit. Cabrera will go to second for one, on to first base. No chance to get Bay. They do get the lead runner. Well, tonight is Matt's mentoring night, and here is Luther to give us the Red Sox starting lineup.
Hi, my name is Luther Evans. Here is the starting lineup for the Boston Red Sox. The DH is Mr. Uligo at second base, Mr. Dustin Pedroia. In the left field, Mr. Jason Bay. At third base, Mr. Mike Loa. In center field, Mr. Rico Baldi. In right field, Mr. J.D. Jew. At first base, Mr. Jeff Bailey. At shortstop, Mr. Nick Green. And catching, Mr. George at Cartares.
Nice job, Luther, as the Red Sox bat here in the bottom of the first inning. And here is Mike Mole. Jason Day held on at first base by Ryan Garco. I feel like I should defend Ryan Garco and check out his defensive numbers.
That's not. All I'm saying is that it's not the greatest defensive team. That's all. Nothing against him.
Well, why'd you have to pick on Ryan
I know,
Garco?
that's not nice.
You called him out by name.
He's a smart guy, though. He went to Stanford, didn't he?
Third-round draft choice.
Nothing against him. Nothing at all. Believe me. Let's go around the infield here. Cabrera went from second to third. Excuse me, from second to short. Peralta's not in there, and he's very average, Peralta, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Sizemore's not out there. He can go get him.
Bull takes a strike, and it's 3-1. All I said was that they're fourth in the American League defense.
That's all you said.
That's it.
And I'm going off on him. This is going to be
all this.
I got to be careful.
We got all this out of that.
I know. Isn't that terrible? Poor Garco.
Hard hit to short. They'll try and start it. Cabrera to second for one. On to first. It's a double play. And Sauer's out of any further trouble. The Red Sox take a 1-0 lead. Olympia Sports, the official sporting goods retailer of the New England Sports Network. And by New England Subaru dealers. Second inning back at Fenway Park. Rain starting to fall here. As David DeLucci leads it off for the Indians. A 2-out walk for Victor Martinez in the first inning. The only base runner so far for the Tribe, as the rain's coming down pretty good near Fenway Park. And we're told that there was a chance for precipitation tonight, but hopefully it'll come and go here.
It doesn't look that nasty, does it?
No, not at the moment.
No. Well, looks worse than it is.
Easy for us to say in here, though, you know.
Yeah, as long as it was sideways right into our face.
DeLucci at .412. He started the year on the DL.
Let's talk about the umpires. This has got to be a tough guy to call. Imagine being an umpire and calling for Wake. You'll see Wake get upset a lot.
Yeah. He needs a guy who's going to be patient.
Right. There's a little piece of cheese for you. You won't see that too often.
Is it still cheese if it's 72 miles an hour?
That's right. It's not cheese.
Oh.
But how do you call it a fastball?
Down the first base line, a foul ball.
You're right. That's a good call right there. It's not cheese, because cheese is, you got to throw. There's a certain temperature to cheese, right? Cheese has got to be 89, doesn't it? And on up.
Right.
I'll let somebody in at 89.
Tim Sheeta has the play. Bob Davidson at first base, Jeff Nelson at second base, and Mark Carlson at third base.
There it is.
Strike three. DeLucci getting the bad news. Second strikeout for Tim Wakefield.
We call that a straight ball is what you call it. 3-2 pitch, straight ball. Lower half the zone, right down the middle, really. Taken 3-2. How do you let that go?
Must have been looking for something else.
Yeah. Looking for a knuckleball. Looking for a walk is right.
One down here in the second inning. Ryan Garco.
There's my buddy.
Garco with 292 to start the year with a home run. 10 runs batted in.
He can hit.
Fly ball to left field, sending Jason Bay back. It'll take him to the warning track for out number 2.
Mom's the word. Hurry in and get your free limited edition Olympia Sports Mother's Day tee with any purchase on Friday, May 8th. Only while supplies last. Olympia Sports. Get it for less. I'm going to practice that. That was like, don't just throw it at. Don't just throw it to me. I got to look at it for a second. It doesn't, it doesn't happen that quickly with me.
Johnny Peralta in the DH role tonight. Started at shortstop last night and hitting tonight with 2 outs and the bases empty here in the second inning. Drops it foul outside of third. We talked about it last night. The Indians pitching has really had a tough season so far this year. Their offense has been pretty good. And a happy youngster right there. Strike 3 call. Third strikeout for Tim Wakefield. A 1-2-3 second. A 1-0 Boston lead. Bottom of the second inning back at Fenway Park. Red Sox on top 1-0. The return of Rocco Baldelli doesn't waste any time as he shoots one down the right field line, falling fast, and Laporta will run over and make the grab towards the line for the first out of the inning. And for the first time tonight, we check in with Heidi Watney.
Don, Jeremy Sowers started the season with the Indians AAA team in Columbus. He's making his first start with Cleveland tonight. Pitching coach Carl Willis told me that he is deserving of the call-up.
But he's gone down to Columbus and continued that success and continued to establish both sides of the plate with his fastball. And, you know, he's a guy that's had success at the major league level. So he is a bit seasoned and has pitched in big competition, big games. And we feel like, you know, he's the guy that can take the place of Aaron Laffey in our starting rotation and give us a chance to win.
Now, Aaron Laffey was supposed to get the start tonight, but he made his first career relief appearance last night. Willis told me that with the bullpen struggling, the Indians really needed him there to help to get things under control. Don?
All right, Heidi, thank you very much. It was all part of their victory last night as it worked out. He went multiple innings and helped them out of the pen, something they've not had.
It tells you everything about their rotation. They bring this kid up, and Laffey pitches 3 innings last night.
Up the middle to his left is Cabrera, and the throw in time to get Drew. 2 down.
It wasn't like Laffey wasn't throwing the ball good in the rotation. I saw his numbers. He was 2-0 with a 4, but so I mean, they need bullpen help is what it comes down to. You throw a left-hander out there, and that was perfect. You think about it. They didn't have to use 3 relievers last night. Just one. Guy goes 3 innings. Perfect.
Indians with the highest earned run average as a team in the majors heading into tonight's action. 5.82 earned run average as a team. It has been a struggle. Their offense has been pretty good. But it's a pretty bad feeling when you cannot score enough runs.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good season. Now, I tell you what, you remember last season, they led the major leagues in the second half of the season in runs scored.
They made a pretty good run.
They
in the
really
second
did.
half.
I mean, it tells you a lot about that offense.
Ended up that Minnesota and Chicago ended up in a 1-game playoff in their division to decide it, but they were in the conversation in the end.
Yeah, they made a run for the last, too late, but they played really well the last 2 months.
To right field, Laporta got a late start. It's in for a hit. The 2-out single for Jeff Bailey, who's been just 2 for 20. That has a base hit here in the second inning.
That'll help right there. A little fastball away, a little outside, kind of hits the middle label. Sounded like he just dunked that ball in the right field. He'll take that hit in a heartbeat.
So 2 down, Bailey at first base. And here's Nick Green. Green out of the 8th spot at 265 with a home run, 11 runs batted in. He was 0 for 4 here last night.
You wonder how Francona is going to use, like, you got Lugo tonight leading off, which is, it's kind of unusual because Ellsbury's not playing, but you wonder how they're going to work this, whether it's with Green and Lugo and what goes into it, what plays into his thought pattern with Francona, when to use who and when.
Well, initially I think he was going to let health dictate that, as this one gets away to the backstop, and taking second base is Bailey.
But they're both right-handed hitters. I mean, so when can you can't, like tonight, it's weird to get both of them in the lineup. That's hard to do.
Well, they weren't originally in the lineup together because Ortiz goes down, and then they decided to DH Lugo and put him at the top of the order and get Green in there then. But I think to answer your question, if Julio Lugo continues to hit and feels okay, you got to feel like Julio Lugo is going to be in there every day.
Absolutely.
Nick Green did a very good job. You couldn't have imagined at the beginning of spring training when you had Lowry and Lugo there would be a scenario you'd need a third guy in that spot, and that's exactly what turned out very quickly, both getting surgery. And you got Lugo back, and Lowry they're hoping to be sometime near the All-Star break or shortly thereafter. So,
but it goes a long ways the way that Green has played, don't you think?
No question.
Not necessarily defensively, but he can whack it up there. If you make a mistake, this guy can launch. Not that he's a home run hitter, but good fastball hitter.
Well, he played 26 games, and tonight is his 20th start at shortstop.
But that's not easy for him to come into this situation and do what he's done. He's got some big hits for the most part.
You could tell he was hungry right from the gate, though. He's a guy that spent all year at AAA in the Yankees organization last year.
He's been around the block.
Been around the block. Came in realizing there was a job here to be had with Alex Cora not going to be the utility guy. So that was what he was really focused on. Cabrera throws him out to end things here in the second inning. We played 2. It's 1-0 Boston. Friday Night Fenway, followed by Red Sox Game Day live at 6 and 7 o'clock. Switch to NESN Plus for the game. To find your channel, visit NESN.com. Third inning back at Fenway Park. The rain has subsided for the moment. Light rain fell here during the second inning, and it's Matt Laporta leads it off here for the Cleveland Indians.
This is the kid who was supposed to be the stud that they got for CC Sabathia from Milwaukee. Was that last year, right? Late?
Yes. So far off to a 1-for-10 start.
You know, I was looking at his numbers. Even in the minor leagues, he really hasn't gotten off yet. If you think about it, he hit 20 home runs last year, I guess. But they're expecting this guy to really be. I'm supposedly, if you get this is the guy you get from Milwaukee for CC, he better be something special.
Mark Shapiro traveling with the team here today, past part of the mass mentoring night here at Fenway Park. We will meet his brother David Shapiro in a little while as we talk about mass mentoring here at Fenway and what a great program it is. This one chop foul. For Mark Shapiro, kind of tough. They got so close 2 years ago. In 2007, of course, had the 3-1 lead in the American League Championship Series. They had Sabathia ready to go. They had Carmona lined up. It was all set. The only problem was the Red Sox came back and won the series.
I'll tell you what happened in that series, I'm not put it on one guy, but Carmona could not pitch in Fenway Park.
Nope.
He could not. Not to take anything away from what CC did, because he didn't pitch good the first time in Fenway. And then he could have clinched it for them in Cleveland against Beckett, but he just lights out Beckett that year.
This one fouled up into the upper deck off to the left.
But we talked about it last night. They haven't won since 1948 for Indians, and that was their chance. Because you're talking about, you know, it's hard for them. You know, it's the salary. I'm sure it's hard for a lot of clubs. But they're in the right division. I mean, they've got a chance.
I think you'll agree it's pretty much wide open, about American League Central.
It really is. I mean, you're talking about a lot of clubs that have the same type of. Nicely done. Look at this guy. My God, one-handed and keeps chirping.
Yeah.
Like, didn't stop.
Ball 4 is
hey, honey,
Laporta.
I just got it.
Laporta heads down to first base. Second walk given up by Tim Wakefield. That was an important phone call, obviously. He didn't want to get off.
He should get the film on that so he can show it to his family.
Luis Valbuena getting a start at second base tonight for the Indians. There's Cleveland with the lead runner on here in the third inning. Last year with the Seattle Mariners in 18 games hit at .245. And he was acquired from the Mariners in a deal for Franklin Gutierrez. Chris Gutierrez was an outfielder with the Indians for a brief time. Actually took over in right field after Trot Nixon left the Indians.
They like him in Seattle. I think isn't he playing center field?
Yes.
Yeah. There's that straight ball again, 72. We will not call that cheese. All right.
I'm trying to get all the vocabulary together now.
I don't want to throw it all out in a couple of days.
No, I know. I'm not expecting that. But I'm just trying to get it for myself. Oh. Off the glove of Pedroia. Can still get the force out and will. Realized it quickly after he glanced off the glove. And he's able to get Laporta at second base.
Did I have him? He said, I tell you what, this line drive right here, he's already thinking about throwing it back to first base. That's why he missed it. Luckily, Laporte was saying, I got to get back. Turned his back to this play. Because he never even gotten to the pitcher. He was, look how far away he is from second base. I said, where is he? Wasn't even close. Probably was a double play ball if he caught it.
One down. Valbuena at first base, and Ben Francisco gets his second look at Tim Wakefield. Francisco grounded out to third base in the first inning. Well, the Indians kind of went the youth direction a couple years ago, and it got them that far in the American League Championship Series. They did have some veterans on that team. But now you kind of wonder what direction they're headed in now.
Well, I thought they got lucky 2 years ago because Carmona came and he wins 19 games. Hello, who counted on that? I mean, that was like unbelievable. He was lights out, wasn't he? He had an incredible year, and they didn't expect that. But meanwhile, he's come back down to earth last year. I mean, he's throwing the ball. You know, obviously he throws the ball good, but he's wild. You know, he has a hard time controlling that nasty sinker.
On the ground at third base, Lowell will try to start it. Second for one on to first. They turn it round the horn. Red Sox lead it 1-0 at the end of 2.5. Tonight after our Red Sox coverage, stay with Nesson for Sports Desk, presented by FW Webb. Find FW Webb's 27 bath centers at frankwebb.com. Jack Edwards will bring you his perspective on the Bruins Hurricane series after Carolina took a 2-1 series lead with an overtime win last night. Plus, former Celtics great JoJo White chats about the Celtics Magic series. You'll also get the reaction from around baseball on the suspension of Dodgers outfielder Manny Ramirez. All of that is tonight after our Red Sox coverage on Sports Desk. George Kotaris getting his first at bat of the night as he leads it off here in the bottom of the third inning. Shallow center field. Francisco wandering in for out number one. So one down. Julio Lugo coming up.
Poor Kotaris, you know, he doesn't know. He has to say whenever Wake pitches, who's ever pitching against Wake, I got to hit. It's the only day I get to hit. And not that this guy's a tough left-hander, but you'd rather face a right-hander, wouldn't you? It's like, it's a tough job. You got to catch knuckleballs, and you hope that who's ever pitching against Wake, you got a shot at.
That was all the thing with Doug Mirabelli. As this one has popped up foul out of play, he would talk a lot about, you know, your timing and everything. I mean, Mirabelli truly was catching once every 5 days. Kotaris has caught Lester and Beckett. He's had a couple of the starts, but Mirabelli primarily was just those 5 days. That was it. And that's pretty tough, I would think, from a timing standpoint when you're hitting.
But, you know, he was like Bale and Whale, man.
Right. He'd run into one every now and again.
He ran into 10 almost one year, didn't he?
To center field. Ben Francisco has got it lined up, and there's two down.
Solid contact there by Lugo.
So Julio, who had tripled in his first at bat, lines out this time. Two down. And it brings up Dustin Pedroia.
They're expecting to see Pedroia with more RBIs. Like, he's only got 9. It's like, you think this guy's a 100 RBI guy and this MVP. Meanwhile, he's in second.
Fly ball to right field. Matt Laporta back there in right. And it's a 1-2-3-3 fly ball out inning for Jeremy Sowers. A 1-0 Red Sox lead. Top half of the fourth inning. Our pleasure to have David Shapiro. He's the CEO of Mass Mentoring Partnership. And David, great to see you.
Great to see you. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Very special day here at Fenway Park today. And tell us a little bit about this morning, as this one is hooked into right field. As a base hit to begin the inning for Cabrera, but a special day today here at Fenway for you.
Yeah, this is a great one. We have a day-night doubleheader of baseball and mentoring. We have a fundraiser in the morning called Champions of Mentoring, and then at night we have mentoring night at Fenway Park with almost 1,000 matches out in right field and pregame ceremonies around mentoring, and it's an unbelievable day for us.
You had Terry Francona involved today as well?
We did. I mean, this morning we had Terry Francona, John Farrell, Eric Wedge, Bill Russell, and Tom Warner in one room, and my brother.
Wow.
So that was pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Tim Wakefield dealing with Victor Martinez. Tell us about Marilyn Russell.
Yeah, so, Bill's wife, Marilyn, and a partner in so much of his work passed away of cancer about 6 months ago. And the Red Sox wanted to do something to honor her memory. So they asked us.
Runner takes off. Kotaris fires down, and stealing second base pretty easily is Cabrera.
They knew of Bill's passion for mentoring and his work with Mass Mentoring, and so they asked us what could they do in Marilyn's honor. And our idea was create a scholarship funded by the Red Sox that would go to a kid nominated by their mentor who'd overcome adversity and for their educational support in college.
This one on the ground towards second base. Pedroia will flip on to first for the out, but on to third goes Cabrera.
Martinez did his job, didn't he?
He did.
A little thumb ball to hit the second base, huh?
Sometimes you don't have to hit it far to get it down, right?
Yeah.
So this morning we honor a young man named Stanley Bellery from Cambridge and his mentor Sam. Just an amazing story, and he'll get some money to help him go to college. He overcame not only having a tough upbringing in terms of moving around, but also the loss of his mom about 6 months ago. So and now he's going to fulfill her dream and his dad's and go to college, which was something I don't think he thought was possible, or they thought was possible probably before he met his mentor. So it's pretty special, and a special relationship between Bill Russell and the Red Sox now and us, and that's such a neat 180.
Are you connected? You live in Boston, or are you connected?
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I do, yeah. I live in Jamaica Plain, just a little ways that way. Yeah.
I know your brother's the general manager, obviously, and your dad was a longtime agent, right? Baltimore,
he was.
Yeah.
Yes,
remember
he was.
him very well.
Yeah.
Right field, long throw, and hanging in there at third base is Cabrera.
Yeah, my dad, if he were up here, he would correct you and say he was a sports lawyer, which is what he always told us as a kid. Because he didn't like the connotation of agent. It was a long time ago when he said that. Yeah. But, yeah, he did represent a lot of great Orioles.
He did.
In 83 World Champion team, he had 80% of the team.
Right.
A lot of people thought he worked for the team because it was a less adversarial relationship back then.
Well, how can fans get involved with the Mass Mentoring program?
Yeah, there's two great ways.
Getting hit is DeLucci down to first base. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, there's two great ways. One is they can step up to the plate and become a mentor through something called the Red Sox Mentoring Challenge, and they can do that by going on redsox.com/mentors. We've recruited almost 1,300 mentors through the program, through the Red Sox help, and there are 3,000 kids on wait lists, so we will just want to keep knocking down that wait list, getting more kids mentors. The other way is financially they can help, and they can go on a great online auction we have called championsauction.cmarket.com and bid on lots of great sports stuff and help us financially.
I know a lot of people don't feel like they have the time, but you don't need that much time, right?
No, there are a ton of different options. I think people are overly intimidated by mentoring. Right. I mean, every mentor you'll ever meet will say, I was intimidated by this, and then I stepped forward, and really it was no more than so many other things I was doing in a week, and it makes such a bigger impact than these other things I was doing an hour a week. A lot of programs are 9-month commitments, an hour a week, 3 hours a month, and that's what we do. We work with people to find the right commitment level for them.
Can you match them up a little bit?
We send them to a mentoring program that will support them and match them with a kid with similar interests, and if something goes wrong, they'll have a person to turn to work through it, and the stories are incredibly powerful.
That is so neat.
Ryan Garko batting here with runners at the corners, 2 down, and Garko lays off 2-1. We talked to you last year. It's been a year in between. You were here with your brother for the American League Championship Series, and that had to be an awfully tough situation for you guys.
It was unbelievable. I mean, blood is thicker than everything. So I was with my brother, and I was in agony and pain for him,
That was tough. We were just talking about it. 1948's the last year.
Yeah.
I mean, that was huge.
Yeah. And they were so close.
Oh, man.
And I think also, looking at my son down there on my brother's lap, but which tells the story of why it's easy for me to root for the Indians. But they, when you know the guys on a baseball team, it, becomes very difficult not to hurt for them and root for them. And I know that, this is a team with incredibly high character and great people. Not that the Red Sox aren't, but I just know so much about the guys in the Indians organization.
You have that connection. Once you have a connection, you can't help yourself.
Exactly. And then every other day of the year when they're not playing the Red Sox, I must say,
you're back on.
It's easy for me to root hard for the Red Sox because they do more for us than anybody on earth. So,
bases loaded, 2 down. Peralta turns on this, pops it up foul ground, but it'll get back into the seats.
So you're rooting for a slam right here?
I will not go on record with that. Would I like to see them climb into the game a little bit? Yeah, sure.
Okay. Poor Wake.
I'm not going to draw the ire of Red Sox Nation when I just ask them to mentor and give money.
Very good political move on your part. No jam here for Tim Wakefield. Just a 1-run lead. Bases loaded, 2 down. Rain falling at Fenway as Peralta is down 0-2. David, I want to ask you, have you been able to stay in touch with a lot of these kids over the years? Kids that have grown up.
Yeah, sure. Mentoring programs. I mean, a lot of mentors stick with their kids for years. The 2 kids we honored today, 10-year and 5-year relationships. But, yeah, you're able to see the results year on year. It's pretty unbelievable academically and otherwise.
0-2 to Peralta. On the ground to third base. Lowell knocks it down. He's got time. The throw is just in time. David Shapiro, thanks so much for coming up.
Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Nice to meet
Thank you very much.
Well, nice play by Mike Lowell to his left, able to knock it down and get Peralta at first base. Stayed with it, didn't panic. And it's on to the bottom of the 4th inning.
Bang, bang at first. Close play.
Very close. Jason Bay grounds it foul outside of third.
You think they'd be on him second time around?
Yep. Well, first time through, they gathered 3 hits and a run. He retired 4 batters in a row.
Whew. That says a lot right there. Throw a fastball right by him.
Not many have been sneaking by Jason Bay lately.
Not at all. Makes you think he wasn't looking fastball and swung.
On the right field line, hooking foul.
You know, we got this talking the other night. I was with, Dave Roberts was here,
yes.
and we were talking about, and I always feel like uncomfortable asking a hitter, like I don't want to, say, you guys guess? Remember we got into that talking about guessing?
Yeah. He didn't really answer you.
Not really.
No.
Now some, they might take offense to that. Some guys, no, we just pick it up. We know how to hit. We don't guess.
It's time now for the defensive play, which was brought to you by Home Depot. More saving, more doing. It's the power of Home Depot. And this is what ended last inning. This play by Mike Lowell. No panic in Mike Lowell.
Once he clanks it off his glove, luckily it stayed in front of him. And once again, like you said, he didn't panic.
Mike Lowell takes strike 1. Grounded into a 6-4-3 double play the first time. I don't think Dave Roberts took offense to the fact that you were asking whether or not.
No, I wasn't afraid to ask him because he's just a little, soft hitting outfielder. If you're going to talk to some monster home run hitter or something, they might take offense to it.
Well, Mike Lowell's defense has been very good all the time, and nice play last night, barehanded from third base.
Doesn't look like a tough play when you see that right there, but you saw that had spin on that ball last night.
Now towards right center, Ben Francisco on the run into right center field to make the grab. And they don't have Grady Sizemore out there tonight, but Ben Francisco getting the job done. 2 down. Last 5 outs have all been in the air.
Everybody's hacking. Look, this guy looks like he's Sandy Koufax out there tonight. I mean, keeping the Indians in this game. Keeping the ball down a little bit.
2 down for Rocco Baldelli. His return to the Red Sox lineup. Activated from the 15-day DL earlier today. Went on the DL on April 21st. Left hamstring strain. This one back to Sowers. Elevates to Pickett. Fires to first. Another 1-2-3 inning for Jeremy Sowers. We played 4. It's 1-0 Boston. by Jeff Dye, Alex Thomas, and Nick DiPiolo on the show where sports and comedy collide. Friday night after Sports Desk, visit NESN.com now to check out clips from the show as it continues to rain here at Fenway Park. We're into the 5th inning. Tim Wakefield tossing his 66th pitch of the game. Matt Laporta, Luis Valbuena, and Ben Francisco in the 5th inning. To left field for Laporta. Jason Bay over quickly, but it's a leadoff single for Laporta. And for the 3rd straight inning, the Indians have the lead runner on.
See this knuckleball that goes, kind of follows him inside a little bit. The sound of the bat, it hit the end of the bat. It sounded so funny, but it ended up being a line drive, very weak line drive to left field.
Here's Luis Valbuena. Showing bunt, pulls it back, takes the strike. We're talking about how umpires deal with Tim Wakefield. And I guess they need an umpire that is pretty patient and waits for it all to take place, see where it ends up crossing the plate.
Because a lot of times the ball that's low is a strike. Right. Because it breaks so much. You may catch the ball so low, but it crosses the plate.
This one just punched back at third and into short left. Jason Bay trying to run it down. It kind of heads towards the corner as he digs it out. Into third base goes Laporta on a double for Valbuena, who didn't hit it very hard at all. Nick Lowell was in on the grass at third base, and it's into short left.
Look at this right here. This little knuckleball. Again, back-to-back at bats here with almost ball nicking the end of the bat. This ball barely got to the outfield grass. I could just hear Wake right now saying, can you believe this? He goes into second easily. Second and third, nobody out.
They get out of the bases loaded jam in the 4th, and trouble now in the 5th as Ben Francisco takes ball 1. George Kottaras continuing to catch Tim Wakefield well.
This is when it gets tough, obviously, with a guy on third.
The strike evens it count at 1-1. Francisco grounded out to third base in the 1st inning. Did it again in the 3rd, and it turned into a double play. This time it's Laporta at third, Valbuena at second base. This one gets through. Kottaras to the backstop, and the game is tied. From third comes Laporta, and to third goes Valbuena. It's a 1-1 game now as it gets through Kottaras. They charged Tim Wakefield with a wild pitch.
We'll have to see if he could have put a glove on this. The ball really didn't hit the ground. If you look at this again, it's probably a pass ball. I mean, a tough pass ball. But, you know, I don't know what Wake does sometimes. You got to have confidence in your catcher to throw the nasty knuckleball. You just do. You have to. You know, and I assume that Wake has a knuckleball that's the nasty one and the one that I can get over. You got to have 2 of those, I would assume. That was the nasty one.
Well, Francisco gets plunked, and down to first base he goes. Here comes John Farrell. Well, it's time now for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. And an inning to go here at Fenway Park. Great grab by a fan who didn't want to lose the conversation. Able to make the grab while on the phone. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
You see John Farrell out there to talk to Wake. You know, people always ask me, what do they tell you? Because you're a pitcher, they ask me, what do they say to you? First of all, I want to know what he's saying to him right now. A knuckleballer? What do you say to him? Well, he knows him better than anybody, right? So maybe he picks up something, I guess. But for the most part, what do you tell a knuckleballer? Take something off. I mean, if you're striding too slow, I don't know. Well, but they do have, you know, he's watched him forever. So,
I mean, if you think about it, you know what he looked like when he was going good. And maybe you can draw from something from some of his better outings. This is in the air to deep center field. Baldelli going back.
Tagging up at
makes
first.
The catch. Everybody's tagging. From third base comes Valbuena. He'll score. And easily into second base goes Francisco. And the Indians take a 2-1 lead.
Good base running right there by Francisco, going from first to second. Sacrifice fly easily with a fly ball, close to 390 feet away from home plate.
15th RBI for Cabrera. And here's Victor Martinez, who walked in the first, grounded out to second base in the fourth. Of course, you had Dave Duncan for a lot of years, whether it be in St. Louis or in Oakland. I mean, was he the type of guy to come out there and I imagine he's pretty positive when they get out there to talk.
When you're pitching the ninth inning and the pitching coach comes out, you're in trouble.
It's bad news.
It is real bad news. We're talking tightness now. Yeah, is somebody warming up right now, Dave? Is that what you're telling me? I know, I could see. Usually they let me blow this thing, but for the most part they'll say something positive. Keep the ball down. Is that positive? That's like saying don't. Right. That's like saying keep the ball down, as opposed to what? Throw it right down the middle.
Don't give it up here, Eck.
Yeah, please don't give it up here. I know.
Whatever you do, don't hit this guy.
Yeah.
One to Victor Martinez. Drops in there for strike two. 1-2.
That thing leaves him every once in a while. It does. I bet you throughout the course of a game. There's some games where it's just on all night, but I'm sure that the touch of that pitch comes and goes. You talk about it's raining.
Guitarist knocked it down at first. Didn't know where it was. It was behind him. And taking third base is Ben Francisco. It's 90 feet away. It was still just one out. Another wild pitch, second of the inning, charged to Wakefield.
Well, it's definitely a wild pitch right here. This ball does get way in front of him. He backhands that. It's funny that he didn't kind of block that ball. So you think you could probably snatch everything. You think you can catch everything. It's coming so slow.
80th pitch of the night for Tim Wakefield. Then it's ball three, full count.
Because you're throwing a hard hook, you're going to get on your knees as a catcher. But it's coming so slow. I could catch everything.
Here's ball four, and Martinez down to first. Fourth walk given up by Tim Wakefield. Well, today's Twisted But True fact of the game is brought to you by Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Victor Martinez extended his hitting streak to 15 games last night. It's the first time in over 40 years that a player's had a 15-gamer while playing 7 games as a catcher and 7 more at another position. The last to do it, Atlanta Brave Rico Carty back in 1966. It's Twisted But True. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea is the refreshing hard iced tea that tastes like real iced tea. Be a little twisted.
Played with Rico Carty a couple of years in Cleveland. Yep. He could hit. The big man, they called him.
Manny Del Carmen up in the pen for Boston. Mark DeRosa with a swing and a miss.
Some guys just go up there and just swing at everything. Never take a pitch. And then you'll see other guys. I mean, I guess it's hard to be patient for the most part. With a guy in scoring position at third, you're trying to get an RBI.
This one chopped to short. Nick Green to second base for one, on to first. They turn it. Second double play of the night. Wakefield needed that. The Indians get 2 runs, take a 2-1 lead. Where can you score the best Red Sox gear in town? Check out BostonGlobeStore.com. The Boston Globe Store has everything for the diehard fan. Autographed memorabilia, Red Sox photos, souvenirs, and more. Shop online, shop anytime. Shop the Boston Globe Store. And we all wish the Rum Dog well in a speedy recovery. As J.D. Drew stands in and takes strike 2. J.D. grounded out shortstop first time up. And followed by Bailey and Green in the inning. Red Sox now trailing as Drew strikes out. And Sauer's getting more comfortable as this outing goes along. We check back in with Heidi Watney.
Don Rocco Baldelli was activated from the disabled list today. He's been there since April 21st with a left hamstring strain. I asked him his thoughts on Manny Ramirez's 50-game suspension.
I think it's just unfortunate. No one likes waking up and, seeing that on television. But, I'm going to wait before I really pass judgment on anything before, I hear the whole story.
No, grounding back up the middle was Bailey, and he's retired by Asdrubal Cabrera. Nice play. It was Luis Valbuena coming from the right side of the infield to make that grab.
Valbuena was bueno on this play. This is a nice play all the way up the middle. His momentum's going to shortstop, and he has enough on it. With Baldelli can run now. Picks it nicely. Gets enough on this ball to throw him out. That's a great play.
All right, I know you talked about this in the pregame show. We talked about it off the top. You're probably pretty tired of talking about it. With 2 outs here in the inning, Nick Green will take strike 1. But Manny Ramirez, surprised? You don't think so at all?
No, I'm not surprised. I mean, they whisper about everybody. In fact, who else you want to talk about you think might have, But it just takes away from this guy's a great hitter, whether he did it or not. I mean, he's just such a great hitter. And then it's really a shame, not just for baseball. I mean, I don't know what it meant. We talked about it in the pregame. Did the Hall of Fame mean anything to Manny?
I think it did. I think it did.
It
wasn't around. I mean, I guess as much as you can be around Manny in the 8 years that he was here, I got the impression he was very aware of where he was in history.
Yeah.
Very aware of his place in history and the numbers. So if you're aware, I have to believe that he was very much aware and very much wanted to be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I know the pride that goes into being a great player. I mean, you have to have a lot of pride. And then, putting all that time in, all those years and all those numbers, and, to not go in the Hall of Fame, I mean, that would be a shame. Absolute shame for him. Now, I'm over here saying poor Manny, believe me, because I'm not a major Manny fan to begin with, especially after what happened last year.
Nick Green hits this towards the scoreboard and off the base of the board. He'll head to second base and grab a 2-out double. Breaks up a string of 9 in a row retired by Jeremy Sauers.
You see right here, finally they get to him. I think this is a changeup because he gets him out front, pulls this ball down the left field off the boards right here. Nice piece of hitting. Reach out there and stay back enough to be able to get the club of the bat on it.
Now, the instant question is going to be, as it has been with virtually everybody else, it has been determined that is used, and I guess the question mark is going to be whether or not he is now Hall of Fame material, and I guess that's really up to the writers, not up to the Hall of Famers at this point.
That's why you wish you knew, we all knew when. When did you start, right?
That'd make a big difference for you if you knew.
Then we can calculate.
Say you found out that it's only been the last 2 years.
Okay, he's a Hall of Famer. And then, and that's how I feel. And once again, it would be nice to know when, and we talk about some other guys, Bonds, Clemens, whoever. We get into McGuire. And I think McGuire did it for quite some time.
This is popped up into short left center. Back goes Cabrera. And he'll make the catch to end the inning. We'll continue the conversation next inning, but it is 2-1 Indians. is on top. And Dennis, we started talking about Manny Ramirez last inning. Of course, he now stands with his 50-game suspension to lose $7.65 million of his $25 million base salary.
Woo.
And, you know, I mean, testing went into effect really hard in 2003. Really an act of Congress took it to a new level. And for a player to have been caught this time, boy, I mean,
it's stupid.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about? I mean,
especially now where you can, if you're unsure about something, go to Major League Baseball and say, hey, I'm not sure about this.
You know what's
Can
always
I use this?
Right. You know what's always bothered me more than anything is the greed. I think it's greed. When Bonds, you know, I don't want to. Everybody thinks Bonds did it. I think Bonds did it. It's greed. You're not good enough. I mean, these guys are great, great players, and you have to do that too. I mean, my God, that's not good enough to be as good as you are. I mean, they're special players. You're talking about people that to me, I mean, I made the Hall of Fame, but I don't feel like I'm in that special type player that has awesome talent. What's he saying here? The ball hit the ground. What's that mean? Ball hit the ground first, which means it didn't hit you. Did you see this?
Let's take a look here and see if we get Wedge is going to come out and argue. He may have made no effort to get out of the way. We'll see.
Yeah, what is this?
Tim Sheet of the home plate umpire.
So it is a ball. This is a 2-1 pitch, okay? Curve ball.
Yeah.
Hits him in the knee. Is he saying he didn't try to get out of the way? Or it can't. I don't even know what the rule is if it hits the ground and then hits you. You'd think it was. I don't know if we'll find out either. He just, instead of hit by pitch, it's ball 3.
He made zero effort to get out of the way either.
Yeah, and he didn't. But they never called
Which is
that.
a judgment call. It's a swing and a miss, and it's a full count. The 90th pitch of the night for Tim Wakefield is skied to center field. Rocco Baldelli is there and puts it away for the first out of the inning. More conversation reaction to Manny Ramirez from Heidi Wadman.
Don, Manny Ramirez said today that he didn't know what he was taking was a banned substance. So I asked some of the players in the Red Sox clubhouse if Major League Baseball does a good job of indicating what is banned and what is not. Here's Mike Lowell's response.
We have the resources to, you know, send something to Major League Baseball. From what I have understood of what they told us in spring training, they can test it out and tell you if it's all right. I think, you know, it's pretty severe penalty if you get caught. So I'm saying it's worth taking that time and taking those steps to make sure if you want to do something that might help you with your workouts, with whatever the case may be, to make sure it's clean. I mean, that seems like common sense to me, but to each his own.
Pretty clear there from Mike Lowell as Garco grounds it too low at third base, throws across, and there's 2 down.
This could be a nice inning for Wake after falling behind 3-1 on DeLucia. And 2 outs.
Johnny Peralta coming up. Wakefield trying to get that 1-2-3 inning here. Came in with 84 pitches in the inning. Peralta 0 for 2. He struck out, grounded out.
Peralta coming off of last year, having a real good year last year. Like 23 jacks, 89 ribbies, 42 doubles. That's a great year for a shortstop.
Chops it softly down the third baseline. Lowell's got to play it off balance. Throw is going to pull Bailey off the bag. So an infield hit for Peralta.
Last 3 hits have been very weak. You talk about the balls they dunked in out there. Cue balls almost, and you see this triple hopper, no chance. He charges this ball, but just takes too long to get there. Can't get really a whole lot on it. It's a weak base hit. He'll take it. Peralta needs it badly.
Look at the numbers for Wakefield here. 95 pitches deep with 2 outs, and Peralta at first base. He's not been able to get Matt Laporta tonight. Walked in the third, singled in the 5th.
You think going in this game, you know, pitching against this kid Sowers, that Wake would have done given up 2 runs in 6 innings, would have had himself probably a pretty good lead.
Sowers has been so good tonight through the first 5 innings.
You wonder how many pitches it is for Wake. Just because he throws a knuckleball doesn't mean that he can throw all night. I mean, I'm sure that he'll tell you that it takes something out of you. I don't know how many pitches he feels comfortable with, but once you get to 100 pitches, I'm sure you lose something.
The most he's thrown in any outing this year is 111.
Right. It's not like, okay, Wake can throw 200 pitches. Don't worry about it.
I'm going to take that back. He had 112 his time before last, so 112. He's had 111 one other time. The least amount in any outing is 99. I mean, that's right around where everybody else is.
I find it, like him, he'll throw 10 knuckleballs in a row and then all of a sudden throw a cross-seam fastball, and it amazes me how he can just throw a strike with it. Seriously, if you only do it once out of every 10 throws, then he mix that in, the hook. Throws him a 3-1 hook. He's not afraid to walk you, first of all. Never has been. He has to live with his walks. If you think about it, Wake, he has to live with his walks. He has to live with the fact that people can run on him. It's just, that's the way it is. He can't do anything about it. But he's had a great career.
Left center field on the run is Baldelli. He'll dive and make the catch in left center. Rocco Baldelli back in the lineup for Boston and making a great grab out there to end the inning. It's 2-1 Indians. Great job, Eck. Mr. Remdog, as we all do here at Fenway Park.
Do we ever?
On to the bottom of the 6th inning. Julio Lugo, Dustin Pedroia, and Jason Bay to face Jeremy Sowers, who has been very, very good through the first 5. Gave up a run in the first inning. Nothing since. Lugo picks up his 2nd hit of the night.
Get something started right there. You're thinking that how could they not get to this guy? But he's been ahead in the count a lot before this, and he throws really just a basic fastball up out over. There's nothing on it. If you can pull a ball like this, you can't have that much on it. Up out over.
So the Red Sox have the lead runner on for the first time since the first inning when Lugo tripled and came around to score the only Red Sox run. He's at first base. Dustin Pedroia 1 for 2 with an RBI. What a catch by Rocco Baldelli to end last inning.
He goes down on his knees, measures this thing, saves a run. You talk about a gapper right here. The guy running on 2 outs saves a run. Wake's loving it.
Rocco on the DL, the hamstring strain, and feeling good. Rehab a couple times for the Pawtucket Red Sox in his home state of Rhode Island. Well, back to work. It's 2-0 to Pedroia.
This third time around, they've seen everything he has. Now he's starting to throw changeups.
Runs it inside and falls behind Pedroia. 3-0. One stretch where he retired 9 batters in a row.
Everybody was fairly aggressive, swinging the bat. He got ahead a little bit, so they start swinging. They say he's throwing strikes, but now in trouble right here.
Lugo started and stopped, or at least flinched at first base as Pedroia takes the strike taken all the way. Ball 4. First 2 have reached for Boston in the 6th. It's time for a game break, man. Tom Caron, TC. Thanks very much, TC. Back here at Fenway, the Indians have a 2-1 lead over the Red Sox. Nobody out, bottom of the 6th inning. And the first 2 have reached for Boston. Lugo at second base, Pedroia at first.
Start to scramble down there in the bullpen.
So Kobayashi is up. First action we've seen in the pen for the Indians. Sowers at 68 pitches with nobody out in the 6th inning. They're dealing with the heart of the Red Sox order. Jason Bay batting out of the 3 spot tonight. David Ortiz pulled from the Red Sox lineup just before game time tonight with a stiff neck. So Bay slides up from the 4 spot to the 3 spot. Bay to left center field. Gapper to the track of the wall. Lugo will score. Pedroia stops at third. It's an RBI double for Bay in a game that's tied at 2.
Sowers decides to challenge the wrong guy with a fastball. He's not going to miss that. Hits this ball in the gap. They hold up Pedroia on the second run from scoring because there's nobody out, or he would have probably attempted to score, but just a matter of time before they get to this kid.
Second and third, nobody out. Mike Lowell 0 for 2. He's grounded into a double play, lined out to center field. And he's not going to get a chance to swing the bat. We'll go after Rocco Baldelli. Well, in the innings in which the Red Sox have scored, the guy getting it started has been Julio Lugo. In the first with a triple, he came around to score the first run. Here in the 6th with a single, comes around to score the second run. And now a bases loaded opportunity, but it's got to feel pretty good for Julio Lugo.
Oh, that's great for him. He needs to get some confidence early on here, coming back.
So the intentional walk for Lowell. Bases loaded for Boston. Nobody out. Carl Willis, pitching coach for the Indians, headed out.
Carl's going to help him get out of this inning. Good luck.
Well, the league leaders are brought to you by Olympia Sports. Intentional walks the category, and the Red Sox with 14. Mike Wohl just receiving one here to load the bases. Red Sox starting the day 2 games back of the surprise Toronto Blue Jays. And Toronto again tonight out in Los Angeles. Take on the Angels. We have 20 wins out of the gate. I got to tell you, Eck, seeing them in spring training and taking a look at their roster to begin the year, the pitching problems they had in their rotation, you figure they're going to have a great chance to win every time Roy Halladay pitches. But past that, had to wonder, and boy, what a start.
But you know, the way they're swinging the bats,
yeah.
you know, that's what happens with teams. Say the Red Sox, they'll go through a spell of 30 games where they just rake, you know, 6, 7 runs a game. How can you lose? You know, and that's, they just happen to do it at the start of the year.
Well, bases loaded, nobody out situation. Rocco Baldelli makes a nice grab to end the top half of this inning. Now is a chance to give the Red Sox a lead. Fouls it off to the right.
Baldelli loves to pull the trigger. He's not afraid to swing the bat first pitch.
Career 500 hitter in this situation in 26 at bats. Has 1 grand slam to his credit.
Kid's got to try to throw a changeup or something. There it is.
Swing and a miss. Baldelli down 0-2.
I'm not challenging anybody with that cheese he's featuring out there. Good pitch. Little changeup down and away. He should have done this to Bay. Pulls off. How's he going to put him away? Another changeup.
1-2 to Baldelli. Sauers up to 77 pitches. He's got nobody out here in the 6th. A single, a walk, a double, an intentional walk.
You got to look out over the plate with this guy because he's not going to throw your fastball in. Everything's going to be away. It's whether it's going to be a changeup or a fastball. He's going to try to slip a piece of cheese in. Nope, didn't get it in.
Red Sox pen is busy as Hideki Okajima is up for Boston. Tim Wakefield is up over 100 pitches at 101 through the first 6 innings. Del Carmen had been up on 2 occasions out there. Baldelli fouls it off, stays alive.
With a changeup. The pitch to get Baldelli out is gas in, but he hasn't got the pitch to do it. This is probably the best pitch he has going for him right now is this little changeup that he turns over. Little 3-finger piece. Gets him out front a little bit.
Bases filled with Red Sox, nobody out, and a 1-2.
There it is.
Baldelli lines it into right center field, a base hit. From third comes Pedroia. Bay will be sent around. The throw to the plate is cut off, and the Red Sox lead it 4-2. Welcome back, Rocco Baldelli.
Sauers tries to get a fastball in, like I told you, but he didn't get it in. Left it out over. Baldelli hits a bullet in the gap right there. Big hit for him. Coming back off the DL with 2 RBIs and a run-scoring, saving catch in center field the inning before.
What a return to the Red Sox lineup tonight for Baldelli. Red Sox with runners at the corners, chance for more damage. There's still nobody out in the inning. J.D. Drew 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded out and struck out.
Third time's a charm. Third time they saw Sauers. He's got no chance.
And second time through, he handled them very well. It was kind of the stretch in which he had retired 9 batters in a row. A much different result here in the 6th inning.
That's all he has is a fastball and a changeup. You've only seen occasional curveball. You saw how he's trying to get guys out. He needed to make a pitch, and that was a pitch fastball in. He didn't get it in.
In this time, but low, and it's 2-1.
So pitching always comes down to one, and that right there, it all came down to make a pitch. And he just didn't execute that pitch inside, and Baldelli took advantage of it.
This one fouled off the catcher Victor Martinez. Well, the Red Sox came into this inning trailing 2-1. But Sowers is yet to record an out, and the Red Sox have scored 3 times. Roll at third base, Bailey at first base, or Baldelli rather at first base. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Ball 3.
You know, it's a matter of trying to get too much out of a guy. You know, a guy like Sowers. I mean, he did a nice job for 5 innings, you know, and in their situation that they're in, you know, they're trying to get another inning out of him because they know that.
I was going to say, you can understand the reluctance to want to get into that pen.
Right.
Especially with the way things went in Toronto to wrap up their series before coming here. Ball 4. Bases loaded again.
Finally featured that curveball for ball 4. Waited forever to use it. Meanwhile, he's gone.
Eric Wedge to make the change. Still nobody out here in the 6th inning. Red Sox now on top 4-2. The Dunkin' Donuts musical montage. Dunkin' Donuts is in its 10th year of hosting local youth groups and charitable organizations in the Dunkin' Dugout. Special seating section here at Fenway Park. Thousands of children have had the chance to catch a Boston Red Sox home game thanks to Dunkin' Donuts. Now Jeremy Sowers done after 5+ innings, still responsible for all the men on. And the bases are loaded, but so far touched for 4 runs, 3 of them coming in this inning. Masa Kobayashi into the game now for the Indians. Right-handed batters hitting only at 158 against him. 3 for 19. Line into left field for Jeff Bailey. From third base comes Lowell. Baldelli will score. 2 runs in for Boston, and they lead it 6-2. Jeff Bailey checks in with his 2nd hit of the night.
He gets painted with 2 more earned runs right there. Kobayashi featuring a fastball. Try to get ahead, I guess. Throw a fastball to Bailey. Right down the middle. Yanks it down the line. Bases loaded, 2-run score.
The Red Sox tack on 2 more. Jeff Bailey, last double coming last season in his first experience in the majors as Nick Green, 8th man to bat in the inning, still nobody out. Infield in as Green takes ball 1. So Tim Wakefield, who was going to be out of this game, the pitcher of record right now. The Red Sox on top 6-2. Chance to get his 4th win, but only 1 loss.
Stayed in there just long enough.
On the ground right side, second baseman Valbuena going to try to win the race. Cannot.
Well, you don't see that happen very often. I mean to tell you, it's a foot race with the second baseman and the batter. First baseman Garco dives for this ball, so he can't get the first. The pitcher's not covering, which is a bad thing. And Green beats the second baseman to the bag. You don't see this very often. Didn't cost him a run. No one tried to score.
So J.D. Drew at third base. Nick Green at first base with his 2nd hit. And here's George Kataris, infield in. Line to center. From third base comes J.D. Drew. Bailey coming around. 2 more runs in. It's 8-2 Boston.
That's what you call gasoline on the fire. All his runs scored. Fastball, try to get ahead. Get ahead with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, just up out over the plate. Did what he's supposed to do with it. It lines the ball up the middle. 2 big RBIs for Kataris.
So it has been a huge inning for Boston. They've scored 7 times and enjoy an 8-2 lead. Julio Lugo got it all started with a single to begin the inning. Here he bats, and there's still nobody out. Strike 1 to Lugo, who also tripled back in the first inning, came around to score a run, so he is 2 for 3 on the night, 2 runs scored.
This is any indication how the Cleveland bullpen has been. It's not good.
Thought about it, didn't pull the trigger. More action in the Indians' pen as Matt Purgis is up.
He's been around a long time, Purgis.
Last with Colorado in the
World
Major
Series.
Leagues.
Yeah.
Ball 2, 2-1.
Well, he can't get his breaking ball over, so. And you know what they've been doing with this fastball. It's going to be a long season.
I think Carl Willis knows that. This one grounded foul, and it's 2-2. The starting pitcher really did a very good job through the first 5 innings. But he ends up going 5+, 7 hits, 7 runs, walked 3, 1 intentionally, and struck out a batter. And I really can't believe how this unfolded tonight after 5 very good innings, giving up just 1 run. And had a string where he retired 9 Red Sox in a row.
Just absolutely fell apart in the 6th inning.
Lugo on a check swing. Down to third. DeRosa just flings it towards first, and they don't get him. Very close at first. Couldn't get much on that throw from the off-balance toss. And Julio Lugo has got his 3rd hit of the game, and the Red Sox reload the bases.
It's a tough play here for DeRosa. He charges this ball. Can't get enough on it, but it was a pretty little play. For a guy that couldn't run, he would be out. But Lugo's got enough speed to just beat this thing. Good call.
So bases reloaded for Boston. Still nobody out. Dustin Pedroia. How about the Red Sox? Runners in scoring position. Tough to be better than that. Strike 1. Kobayashi has not recorded an out. Jeremy Sowers could not record an out. This is the 11th batter in the 6th inning for Boston.
Two-pitch pitcher, fastball slider.
Green at 3rd base, Kataris at 2nd base, Lugo at 1st base, still nobody out. Pedroia to left, it's in for a hit. Green from 3rd, here comes Kataris. Throw is cut off. 2 more Boston runs, and it's 10-2. Nine runs without recording an out for the Red Sox here in the 6th inning. And Eric Wedge going to make another change.
What an absolute nightmare this inning has been for the Indians.
It's 10-2 Boston. It's 1999. And it stops in Los Angeles, Montreal, San Diego, San Francisco, Arizona, Florida, and the last couple of years, Colorado. And now a member of the Cleveland Indians. Signed as a minor league free agent during the offseason.
You know he wants to pitch. He's 39 years old. Still hanging in there.
Looking for a last-minute Mother's Day or early Father's Day gift? You can surprise Mom or Dad with tickets to see the Red Sox and Marlins game on Red Sox Nation Day, June 16th. Purchase a Red Sox Nation citizenship package now, and you'll be eligible for this exclusive ticket sale. Visit RedSoxNation.com to join. This is a limited-time offer, so join today.
Looking at Matt Herges, all of his numbers over the course of a long career. 39 years old, got 8 years in the big leagues. Goes, tells you that he's really persevered, to say the least, when you think about it. A lot of minor leagues up and down, all around.
A lot of AAA time mixed in there.
Gotta love the game, man, to be out there. Back in the minor leagues, try to get back up here.
Last year was 3-4 in 58 appearances with an earned run average up over 5 for the Rockies. Deals with Jason Bay and gets a first pitch strike.
Fastball, changeup, slider pitcher.
Sowers could not get an out here in the 6th inning. Kobayashi could not get an out here in the 6th inning. 12th man to bat in the inning. It's outside for ball 1. It's got to be a very tough feeling for Eric Wedge, sitting in there wondering where your next out's coming from.
I mean, I know the bullpen was bad. That's ridiculous. The guy coming in out of the bullpen, 5 hits. Not that everything was crushed, but.
Ball 2, 2-1. Kobayashi had no answers. He gives up 5 hits so far, 3 runs. He's responsible for Lugo's at second base, Pedroia, who's at first base. As Tim Wakefield watches that run column go up, as his night is done. 10 runs, 12 hits right now for Boston. 3-1.
It's got to be hard to watch. It just does. I mean, as a manager, it's just, oh.
Bay to deep right field. Laporta going back towards the bullpen. It's gone. Jason Bay hits a 3-run home run, and the Red Sox lead it 13-2. And still, there's nobody out here in the 6th inning.
Is this history or something here? Nobody out? 12 runs in?
12
It's hard
runs.
to do. It's very hard. I've never seen it, and I've been around this game a long time. Nobody out. Meanwhile, Bay shows off his power to right central. Ball middle out over the plate. Extension piece, gets the ball up in the air. It's not like the wind is blowing out to right field. He crushed that ball. That's what's impressive to me. It's one thing having that Fenway flip that he hits it out of here, but you get the ball out that way, you got to be kidding me.
He's got power to all fields and 8 home runs now in the year. The breaking ball missing to Lowell, and it's 2-0.
12 runs
without an out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. That foul, 2-1.
Everybody's having a good time tonight in that dugout.
Outside ball 3, 3-1. Red Sox trailing in this game coming into this inning. Not trailing anymore. Fly foul. Well, you read about how bad the Indians bullpen has been, but until you see it in person,
it's not this bad, is it? I mean,
it can't be.
It can't be this bad. It's just they're in a funk. I mean, you could throw salad up there and get guys out sometimes. You know, this game is weird. Sometimes you just can't get anybody out. I don't care how good or bad you are.
They're in one of those stretches. On the ground is short. Cabrera to first for the out, and it's the first out here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
The Amica Pit Zone is brought to you by Amica Insurance. Get the right auto and home coverage at amicacoverage.com. And you'll see the pitch to Bay. It's not really that bad a pitch. Down out over the plate, but he lifts this ball about 410 feet over the right field bullpen. He's going to hit 30 jacks easy this year.
He had 31 of them last year between Pittsburgh and Boston. Well, Manny Del Carmen is now up. Had been Okajima in the tight game. And Del Carmen had sat back down again after being up earlier. But now Del Carmen is up. Red Sox on top 13-2. A pop-up foul ground. Victor Martinez runs out of room.
Now don't hurt yourself in a 13-2 game there. Dive in the stands.
Crowd taking enjoyment out of a Victor Martinez throw that missed the pitcher. So he'll get a new one.
It's about how the inning's going right there.
Rocco Baldelli and a big hit to drive in 2 runs. And here he is in the same inning with 1 out. And the Red Sox scoring 12 times in the 6th inning. First time they've scored 12 or more runs since they did it back in 2003 in June of 03 against the Marlins in the first inning as Rocco strikes out for the 2nd out of the inning. We're just getting some people out now. 2 down. Trying to settle this thing down.
Finally, they punch somebody out. They're looking for any out. You see a changeup. That's a good pitch right there. That's what he's known for. Hergis is that changeup.
Two down for J.D. Drew. Jeremy Sowers, the starter tonight, 5+ charged with 7 runs. Masa Kobayashi, who didn't get anybody out, gave up 5 hits and 5 runs. And Hergis has been charged with 1 run. As he gave up the 3-run shot to Jason Bay, but now 2 inherited runners to score.
Turnabout fair play. He paints. They call painting runs on a guy. You come into the game with the bases loaded and you give them all up. You just painted that guy with 3 runs. Well, the next reliever painted him.
There's a lot of painting going on in this.
But not the right kind of painting. Right. You don't want that. And the next reliever, Hergis, paints the reliever before him with 2 more.
So the good paint is on the corners. The bad paint is when you let other people in.
The other people's runs.
I'm getting this.
You got it?
Valbuena puts an end mercifully to the inning, but not before the Red Sox score 12 times and lead it 13-2. Mom's the word. Hurry in and get your free limited edition Olympia Sports Mother's Day tee with any purchase on Friday, May 8th, only while supplies last. Olympia Sports, get it for less. Now the Red Sox exploding for 12 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. They've taken a 13-2 lead. And a new pitcher for Boston, Manny Del Carmen on. Manny allowed his first earned run of the season this past Sunday, hitting Carl Crawford with the bases loaded in the 7th inning. Had not given up an earned run in his first 11 games of the year and 14 innings pitched. Numbers still very good. 0.63 earned run average in his 13th appearance of the year. Hitters hitting at .212 against Manny Del Carmen. And Tim Wakefield, who was trailing in the game and done for the night at the end of 6.
Stayed in because he was gone.
He was done.
He was done. He could left 2-1, losing. Comes back 13-2. I mean, that's never happened in his career, I bet.
He's a guy that generally doesn't get a lot of run support.
Oh, he better not say anything now.
He's got enough.
Yes. No moaning over run support. Yeah, we'll never hear him moan.
This one fouled off, and it's 0-2. Luis Valbuena leading it off here for the Indians in the 7th. Wakefield went 6 innings tonight, giving up 4 hits and 2 runs. Walked 4, struck out 3, and in line for his 4th win of the year. He came in at 3-1.
I thought he pitched well. I think he got a little shaky that one inning, kind of lost it. He didn't hit the ball that hard off him. A couple of balls at the end of the bat, if you remember. And then a wild pitch that could have been a pass ball. He walked 4 guys. But for the most part, he just only had trouble in the 5th inning.
The 2 key double plays in the 3rd inning. Mike Lowell started one, and then in the 5th inning, Nick Green.
I'm sure he's happy with this appearance, let alone with that 13 runs.
Valbuena fouls it off. Chairman Tom Werner wearing the Rim Dog hat.
That's cool.
As many are here tonight through Fenway Park. And again, we hope Jerry will be back very soon. 0-2. In the dirt, and the count 1-2.
Man, he's got such good stuff. I watch him pitch all the time at 95-mile-an-hour fastball, hook right over the top, and you just saw right there that great changeup. He could be a closer one of these days, this kid.
Well, that's great praise coming from you. You like what you see from Manny Del Carmen.
He's got the stuff. I mean, if anything, he just needs to, throw strikes. I mean, he has trouble, some bouts of wildness. But you throw that hard, it's gonna leave you sometimes. That 95 gets away from you sometimes. But he's got 3 good pitches.
This one is popped up left side. Lowell will put it away. Valbuena is out number 1.
Manny, they've got Manny out there. You can go on and on and on. We talked about it last night, how many guys they have out there. Then you start to add Masterson out there. To me, it's just one of the best bullpens in the game. I mean, you don't want to get carried away with it, but how can you not? I mean,
Masterson in it out there makes it so much deeper.
I mean, I know we don't want to be homers, but to me, it's just as good as it gets. What's he doing out there?
Hanging out.
Just with his friends.
He likes those guys out there.
I mean, really.
This one fouled off to our right. Well, we wondered how many runs they got without giving up or without getting it out. And you had asked, and we have the answer. Ties a Major League modern day record. The Brooklyn Dodgers back May 24th, 1953 scored 12 without an out in the 8th inning.
We almost broke the record.
Needed one more.
If I had known that. I wish I had known that. I mean, that is hard to do. Think about it. I mean,
Well, the Red Sox made it happen.
He's got to be happy about his night. Everybody's happy about their night.
Outside, it's 3-1. Second time in the Red Sox team history that they have scored 12 runs in a 6th inning. Did it in 1986, August 21st against these Indians, but it was in Cleveland. Everybody a part of it. Into left center field for Ben Francisco. Over to play at his bay. Francisco heading for second. Throw's going to be close and in time.
What's he doing?
Down 13-2, trying to stretch it into a double.
Personal goals. He needs a double badly. That's silly. Adds to his night. See, Bay gets this ball. Nice little move he puts on that between his legs. A little spin move. Throw beats the runner. Nice tag put on by Pedroia right there. He's got to reach back. Touch him right on the. He might have been in there.
Might have been safe.
But you know something? He's out because he's silly for doing it. Get him out of here.
As Drupal Cabrera takes the strike.
It's 13-2. Get out of here.
Jeff Nelson, why did you throw him to say that he was out? It's because he was stupid for doing it.
There you go.
That's what you're implying. You realize
what are you going to argue? Imagine getting up arguing.
So fouled off. It's 0-2.
You're done. Get out. Imagine arguing, then the manager's got to come out and help you out.
Right.
You're going to rip your face off.
Action in the Red Sox pen. Javier Lopez is up. There's Drupal Cabrera batting here with 2 outs in the inning. 1 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. Strike 3 call. 7th inning stretch from Fenway. 13-2 Red Sox. Time for a Sports Desk update with Cole Wright. On top 13-2. It's the last of the 7th inning. Matt Burgess back on the mound. And it's strike 1 to Bailey as changes for the Indians moving from second to third. It's Luis Valbuena. As Mark DeRosa comes out of the game, new second baseman is Josh Barfield. Indians making some changes, down 11 runs. Bailey takes strike 2. Jeff with a single in the second inning, grounded out in the 5th, doubled in the 6th inning to drive in a pair of runs. He was part of the 12-run 6th inning for the Red Sox, who lead it 13-2. Outfield straight away on Bailey. On the ground at third base, Balbuena throws out Bailey for the first out of the 7th.
Stay with us immediately following the game tonight for WB Mason's Extra Innings. You'll see Terry Francona's live post-game press conference after this series finale. It's all part of our complete coverage of the Sox clubhouse, plus the latest reaction to the Manny Ramirez suspension. It's all coming up right after the game with TC, Jim, and Heidi.
One down here in the 7th inning. Nick Green, 2 for 3 on the night out of the number 8 spot. Well, Matt Hergis is getting people out after he gave up the 3-run home run to Jason Bays. Now retired the last 4 batters in a row, so they'll continue to go with Matt Hergis. There's nobody warming right now in the Indians' pen. This one drilled a mile but foul. Told you earlier that the Rays had a 4-0 advantage against New York. The Yankees have come back in that contest. They're in the 6th now, tied 4-4. Green pops it up. Barfield in short right puts it away, 2 down. Well, if you're Eric Wedge, as you look at the score where the Yankees have come back, tie that up 4-4. Eric Wedge, you don't want to mess up tomorrow.
No.
So right now, I mean, you're down, but you need Hergis to get some out here so you don't have to affect the rest of your bullpen moving forward.
I really don't know what they do. I mean, that club, as far as how do you fix your bullpen? You just hope? I mean, you think about it. I mean, what are you going to do? You're not going to make a major move, an acquisition or something. I mean, you just hope the guy, somebody who's ever hot in the minor leagues, flips up. Or
they already had to reshuffle here the other night, last night.
I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, that's a tough position to be in. I mean, I know that division is up for grabs, but that's ridiculous to have the kind of bullpen they have. Because you look out there, and what do you got?
Besides Kerry Wood.
I mean, that's it.
They're used to Rafael Perez, who did such a great job.
Betancourt.
He's been sent down. Yeah, Betancourt setting up.
There he is. He had a great year for them a couple of years ago. Remember, he was lights out. But you have to have a bullpen. This is the age of the bullpen.
Well, we saw in Tampa Bay, a game that got out of hand. Terry Francona did not want to mess up the bullpen for the next day. And, of course, it was Jonathan Van Every who came in to finish that game, a position player. And you wonder if Eric Wedge would entertain the same thoughts here. He's still got another inning to go. This one, a foul ball.
Well, that's why we've got Tampa Bay coming in tomorrow night. And for me, my question at the start of the year, can that bullpen do what they did last year?
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, seriously, Balfour, what he did, I mean, he was lights out.
Wheeler.
And even J.P. Howell, he really, I mean, he pitched great for them. I mean, multiple innings. He just did, and can they do it again? Percival was so iffy to begin with last year.
And the DL 3 times, not part of the postseason.
Like you said, Wheeler. I mean, they were great. They went from the worst in the league to the best.
It used to be once you get past that starter, you get into that bullpen and you can win any game. And that was not the case last year. And then you look at what their starters did. I mean, it's all going to line up right again.
Yeah, I mean
they've got the people that can do it.
Yes, but the thing is, do it again.
Right.
To me, expectations are just so hard to live up to. And I think, not to say they snuck in last year at all. How can you sneak in the American League East? You can't.
Strike 3 call. Matt Hergis with a 1-2-3 7th inning. It's on to the 8th. 13-2. Boston on top. lead it 13-2. Pitcher of record right now is Tim Wakefield. We saw Del Carmen for an inning. Now this call to the bullpen. It was brought to you by New England Ford dealers. And the new pitcher is Javier Lopez. He's had a tough time lately. And this season has kind of been a struggle for Javier Lopez. His 13th game, an 0-2 record, and earned run average up over 10. Of course, making the error to end a game at Cleveland against these Indians at Progressive Field, the only game the Red Sox lost in that 3-game series. He's given up 7 runs in his last 2 outings.
Early in the season like this, it's going to take forever, especially the way that when he pitches, he sort of creeps, one out here, one out there.
With Green across to retire Martinez, 1 down. Well, Victor Martinez coming in with a 15-game hitting streak, and very well could be his last at bat. Grounds out, 1 down. Well, the first time that we have seen Josh Barfield here tonight as he took over at second base defensively. Ball 1 inside.
This kid was supposed to be a good player for them when he came from San Diego a few years ago. I think he's been kind of a disappointment for the most part.
Lined into left field and in front of Jason Bay. A base hit for Barfield, who's 3 for 3 now to start the season. There is action in the Indians' pen. After 2 innings for Matt Hergis, Jensen Lewis is now up in the pen for the Indians.
He closed games for them last year at the end of the season. That was before Wood was around.
There is David DeLucci. DeLucci struck out in the 2nd, hit by a pitch in the 4th, and flied out in the 6th inning. The strike, and it evens up at 1-1.
Lopez would like to just get this inning in without being scored upon, and it goes a long ways for your confidence. You just want to get an inning, clean inning, not just no runs.
So it chopped down the first baseline. Fair ball handled by Bailey for the out. As Barfield takes second base. Fans, want to remind you this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Boston Red Sox. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox. The phrases used in this game cannot be disseminated either. You can't walk around and say cheese and salad and everything else.
We haven't even got into the salad game yet.
No, we haven't.
No, because that's not, you don't want to hoot on somebody.
The thing that I'm most surprised by is that there's 2 kinds of paint. I didn't know.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that was very confusing.
Wake has his own paint, or Wake has his own cheese. Right?
That too, yeah.
He has his own cheese. And this guy is a better defensive player than I think he is.
Ryan Garco.
That's how it all began about 8 innings ago.
You were right out of the gate with it tonight.
I didn't mean it.
Right out of the chute.
You just dropped defense on me, and I started to critique.
All I said was they're 4th in the league, and you said, how is that possible?
And then I looked around.
And you reeled off guys you didn't think were very good.
And then we got to first right away, didn't we? And Garco got, I dropped it on him.
We, don't say we. It's you.
Face hit. I told you he could hit.
Garco to left field. Around from second comes Barfield. He will score as Garco motors into second base with an RBI double. And Javier Lopez has given up a run here in the 8th.
This is difficult for Lopez, to be honest with you. You put him out there to get an inning, and he's got to try to get out right-handed hitters. Now, for the most part, he hasn't got a whole lot to get out right-handed hitters. I mean, he's a left-handed specialist to me. And if you get too far with him, he's going to have problems. He didn't last year, and I thought he had a great year last year, but he's going to get left-handed hitters out, and he's going to have a hard time with right-handed hitters. So,
well, unfortunately, this year he's had trouble with everybody. .471 batting average for left-handed batters.
He just started off real bad, and it's hard to get your act together again. I think that's why Terry put him back out tonight. after last night, coming back-to-back nights, you know, just to get his confidence back, have a clean inning, which he didn't have. But you gotta, you know, you pick your spots here with guys to, you know, this is a perfect spot to get, you know, a guy some work, maybe to get his confidence back, right? So without using somebody else that you want to use tomorrow, whatever.
Yeah, I'd certainly wonder about the confidence right now for Javier Lopez, the way the season's gone. The outing in Tampa Bay where ended up coming out of it, and you know, he ended up giving up the runs. Terry Francona decided at that point that he would go with the position player, and then Javier had to go to right field and play defensively.
And they hit a line drive to right
out there
field.
at him, but I mean,
that's the kind of year he's had so far. Everything's finding him, sort of.
You don't even get to leave after a tough outing. You got to go play right field,
right?
Which was tough, but he got through it.
Yep, he'll be all right. I mean, this is just early in the season. The problem is, like Francona was saying, he probably looks up there and sees his ERA at 10 point something and goes, oh my God, how am I going to get this thing down? I've been there before. And in the bullpen, it's hard to do because you're going, like I said, you creep at it. One inning here, one inning there.
Chopped to short, Green in the high hop. It ends the inning, but the Indians get a run back. 7.5 done, 13-3 Boston. (13-3) Red Sox on top of the Indians. As we head to the bottom of the 8th inning, wrapping up Sweet Caroline here at Fenway.
You want to know what this guy's got? 13-2. Fastball changeup. There's the fastball.
He's Jensen Lewis, and he's the 4th pitcher of the game for the Indians. 14th game of the year, 5.93 for Lewis. Last year gave up 8 home runs in 66 innings.
He closed for them last year. Got 13 saves for them. Probably the second half of the season.
So far this year, 6 of 13 appearances are scoreless. That means 7 weren't.
That's not good.
No.
50-50.
To left field. David DeLucci is there, and he makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Lugo has been hitting the ball all over the yard tonight, but is retired this time. A 3-hit night. Coming up after the game, stay tuned for Granite City Electric's Red Sox final, where you have the chance to be part of the show. Visit NESN.com now to submit your questions to the NESN.com inbox. TC and Jim will answer your questions, plus a trip around the majors, the latest with the Manny Ramirez situation, and a look ahead to this weekend series with the Rays. It's all coming up right after the game, right here on NESN. 1 out for Dustin Pedroia, who takes strike 1. Dustin with 2 hits, a walk, and a fly out. He's driven in 3 runs. Rain falling again at Fenway as it has periodically throughout the night. Matt Hergis, incidentally, pitched the 6th inning and the 7th inning. As he was the 3rd pitcher used in that 12-run 6th inning. He's only charged with 1 run. 1 hit, didn't walk anybody, struck out 2.
But he painted it the other guy with 2 runs. Remember?
Yes,
he did that.
That's too short. 2 down. Start your weekend early on Friday night as the Sox kick off a weekend series with the Tampa Bay Rays. Join TC and Jim for 30 extra minutes of the sights and sounds surrounding the ballpark live at 5:30 on Friday Night Fenway, brought to you by the Halfway Cafe. And Dennis, I want to thank the folks from the Halfway Cafe who had me over there today. I was all fired up. They have great food. It's outstanding. I crushed the spread. Which is not, I know you're not surprised by that, but
I didn't get anything.
I know. But there wasn't enough for you. There wasn't enough for everybody, so.
So that's why you didn't eat here?
They had me over there today. They took care of me in a big way. So I want to thank them. And I know a lot of fans go there anyway, to 6 different locations, but very good. I went to the one today in Dedham. Oh, very good. So 2 down here in the 8th inning.
This guy's had a big night tonight. That 3-run jack he hit the right center field. I'm impressed.
To short this time. Cabrera's been busy. That's a 1-2-3 8th inning. We head for the 9th. Red Sox on top 13-3. And by Southwest Airlines. 9th inning from Fenway Park, where the Red Sox enjoy a 13-3 lead. Takashi Saito into the game for the Red Sox to pitch the 9th inning. 11th appearance of the year, 4.50 ERA. He's given up 13 hits in 10 innings. He has 11 strikeouts.
I like this guy. Strike thrower.
When you think about it, you get an experienced closer. In case Papelbon ends up working back-to-back days. Get you, I think, how you think about it, when they acquired Eric Gagne, really that was going to be the idea, and it just never worked out for Eric Gagne.
I was as surprised as anybody. I thought Gagne would work out, but it's fun. It's something about not closing.
Yeah.
You know, it really is, and I believe that too. The guys used to close in the 9th inning. You know, you think it's, sometimes it, I mean, it's tougher in the 7th, 8th inning. And it's, you know, and he didn't respond.
So you think it was a mental thing?
I think a little bit. Because I watched his stuff. I mean, it wasn't, he's still throwing hard. Great changeup, hook, whatever. He just didn't work out. Meanwhile, they won the whole thing anyway in spite of him.
Right. Chop to first. Bailey's got it. He'll take it himself for the first out of the 9th.
You know, every time I see the situation here, you see Saito out there getting an inning. When I closed all those years, if I hadn't pitched in 4 or 5 days, I'd be down there and I'd be debating with myself, I need an inning bad. I mean, I really need an inning bad. And I'd call down and say, let me have it. But I'd have second thoughts, you know, a 13-2 game, and I needed to get in the game because I lose it, and I'm a control guy. And I'd come into these games, and I may give up a couple, but you got to get out there.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, you're a guy that drew a lot from emotion. How much emotion do you get working an inning in a game that means nothing?
Not much, but it was important to me to get a feel. I could throw on the side all you want, but you have to, not that you need adrenaline on the mound, but you need to get in a game. There's something about getting in the game. If you don't get in the game for 4, 5, 6 days, I'm going to lose that touch. And I need touch. I'm not Gas Masterson.
Left side, Lowell backpedaling, calling. 2 down in the 9th. Here comes Ben Francisco, the top of the Indians order with 2 outs in the 9th inning. He's grounded out twice, been hit by a pitch and single.
And got thrown out at second, trying to go to second on a base hit. Which is a no-no. 13-2. Not good.
I'm sure Eric Wedge is going to mention.
He's got more problems to worry about.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Outside, ball 1, 1-1. The Red Sox offense working on all cylinders. Took a little while to get it going tonight. Just 1 run through the first 5 innings, and Saito hits Francisco. It's second time tonight that Francisco has been hit by a pitch.
Fastball, he's trying to get it inside. Nobody seems to get out of the way. Been seeing a lot of HBPs lately, huh? You don't expect the ball to come inside, I guess, late in the game, 13-3.
Well, he didn't make much of an effort to get out of the way, and he is at first base with 2 down for Asdrubal Cabrera. Third shortstop tonight, Johnny Peralta DHing. And a swing and a miss. Saito in save opportunities this year is 2 for 3. Of course, has converted in his major league career 83 of 94 major league save opportunities. 88.3% success rate.
Not too shabby right there.
And he's ahead 0-2.
Surprised the Dodgers let him go, don't you?
Yes,
I mean, really.
definitely.
I mean, maybe they thought he was too old. And, you know, if you get a sore arm when you're too old, they have a tendency to give up on you a little bit. But still, what he did for them for a couple of years, you think he'd just hang with him.
The 0-2 pitch to Asdrubal Cabrera. Fly ball out towards left center field. Jason Bay tracking it and catching it to end the ball game. Red Sox winning in a big way tonight. They had trouble scoring runs early, but then took care of that. It's the 5th time this year with 10 or more runs scored. They get 12 in the 6th inning, and they win this thing 13-3. Another home run.